you think of this report and its grim statistics? And what do you think about the Democrats being concerned about losing the black vote? Clarence Page.
Well, the saddest thing about the report is that this is not the first year it has come out with such grim statistics, and they continue to be grim. I think that that the Democrats don't have to worry about blacks running the Republican Party because all the Republican leadership has given is pretty much lip service up until now. But what they do have to worry about is a drop-off in black voter turnout. During the '88 general election, there was as much as a 45% drop-off in the black vote in cities like Chicago around the country because Dukakis really wasn't reaching out to the black vote. He didn't want to be too closely identified with black voters. And this is, I think, an important wake-up call for
what's really tragic here is that white politicians of both parties have decided to pay attention to the middle class, and fundamentally they have given up on being able to do anything about the underclass. I mean, it is too big a problem. The social problems, the cultural problems are so great that nobody knows what to do about them, and the blacks are just being forgotten.
Look, what's also tragic here is that the Urban League is still going back to the same old solutions that haven't worked in the past. I mean, they're talking about a Marshall Plan for America. That we tried that in the 1960s. It was called the Great Society, and it didn't work.
But a lot of it did work.
A lot of it did work.
The minorities and the poor are going to be invisible in this election because that's not where the votes are, and the Democratic Party does have to reorient. But I take heart from the fact that the Democrats are talking about universal programs like health care that benefit everyone, like Social Security. Those are the programs that work in this country. The rich have to get theirs too, or it's not political.
I question whether the statistics create a misleading overall impression. Example, for employed blacks, wage gap between whites and blacks narrowed in the 80s. For college-educated blacks, there is parity. Number 2, black enrollment on colleges and universities is going up, not down. Black high school dropout rates have stabilized. Number 3, the number of black-owned businesses in the 80s increased almost 60%, according to the Census Bureau. Why don't we hear that in this black report?
Well, what this shows you is a tragic polarization in the black community. Some of us are making it partly as a result of those programs you didn't like there, by the way. Paul, by the way,
Which program?
Have you ever heard of Head Start and Job Corps? They worked very well.
They worked very well.
Bush is trying to put more money into them right now.
The exception to the Great Society rule.
And what we ought to do is look at the past, see what worked, what didn't work, fix what didn't work, instead of just saying that none of it works.
Predictions.
George Bush will endorse the California welfare reform and make it an issue in the campaign.
Eleanor.
George Bush is going to get hit with negative ads in New Hampshire attacking him for ducking state income taxes in Maine.
Clarence.
Arizona voters will approve a King holiday in November by a comfortable margin.
Mort.
Roman Papaduke, a White House aide, will be the first ambassador to Ukraine.
To Ukraine? Oh, well, I will predict that Iran will have the nuclear bomb by 1994 mid-year. Bye-bye.
The McLaughlin Group.
GE is proud to support the McLaughlin Group. GE. From satellites to medical systems, we bring good things to life.
For a transcript, send $5 to Federal News Service, 620 National Press Building, Washington, D.C. 20045. Specify program date. To obtain a free McLaughlin Group Viewer's Guide, write Viewer's Guide, Box 786, Madison Square Station, New York, New York, 10159. Topics are selected by Mr. McLaughlin, and the opinions expressed are solely those of the participants.
Richard Balducci and Ed Krowicki discuss some of the items on the agenda for the state legislature. If you follow state politics or care about your pocketbook, stay tuned to CPTV.
It's an extraordinary odyssey, spanning continents and time. Michael Wood searches the past for clues to the present, and the present for clues to the past.
Now, civilization itself has become the central problem of our planet. To understand why, we need to look again at how we see history.
A history that repeats itself, full of trade and tragedy, conquest and crisis. Now we search through ancient civilizations for deeper understanding of our own, exploring the legacies of Iraq, India, China, Egypt, Central America, and the West. legacies that still shape us today. It's the journey of a lifetime, a voyage of the mind and spirit, with a look at the questions that have challenged civilization from the beginning. Legacy.
Come along. The journey begins.
The white separatist movement will not be stopped in the puny town of Portland.
We believe in fighting for our race, and we'll defend it to the death.
We're in your colleges, we're in your armies, we're in your police forces. Stopping Tom Metzger is not going to change what's going to happen in this country now. White power, kill all.
Examine the human face of evil, Wednesday at 8. Next. On the Record. Turn to us for Election 92 coverage. CPTV. Always something special.